Do you know, there's some things in life that should have just been left alone. There's mysteries in this universe that should just be left alone. And trust me, this is one of them. Welcome to another episode of It Could Have Been a Classic. And my God, I'm banging my head on this one. Roll intro.
Welcome to a universe of robots with the power to perform wonders. And men with the will to destroy worlds of interstellar blackmail and intergalactic heroism. Beyond the Earth, beyond the moon, adventure beyond your wildest imagination. H.G. Wells' The Shape of Things to Come. Rated PG.
Hello. So just before we start, please give this video a share. Please subscribe to my channel and give it a like. And hopefully I should move up within the algorithms. So welcome to another episode. No doubt you saw a bit of the trailer. I've had to do some research into this. We are now reviewing from a 1936 British classic, which is considered to be up there with Metropolis. Films like that, The Shape of Things to Come. But in 1979, George McCowan, the director of this, Canadian film company, which is a Canadian science fiction production, they decided to make a sequel. They made a sequel. My God. Right, where do we start? Well, right, firstly, let's go for the good. Well, right, there's three good factors in this, right? Well, the chicks are not bad luck. Well, the chicks are super fit. They normally are in these productions. No, there's no bikinis or leather outer space outfits. None of that. It's let's go disco, because that's what we're going in with this. Right. There's a ship called Star Streak. That looks pretty cool. You can imagine Federation using it, actually. The women are gorgeous. Well, they normally are in these productions. And we've got two classic actors, Barry Morse, Victor Bergman from Space 1999, and Jack Palance. I love Jack Palance, but his career must have been in the toilet when he did this. I am being serious. So that's set up for the film. I don't even know who the other people are because they didn't register on the radar for this movie. So let's start off. After the first movie, I assume this is meant to be a sequel. So if it's official, I do not know, but there isn't a lot of information. Now, I've had to dig for this movie. It took me hours. It was on Amazon, and I was hoping to watch it on there to review it. And I'm not paying $4.99 for this. So I went into the darker places of the internet, and somehow, I found a copy of it, and I watched it, and my God, it's terrible. Right, Shape of Things to Come is set after many years. They've still got the same characters from like the first movie. Look, let's just go along that this is the sequel, right, to a classic movie, right? Right, let's just go along with that before anybody shoots me down. John Cavell and his son. So obviously, I assume after they built the paradise on Earth and shooting people up to the moon in big cannon in the first one, in the sequel, everybody's living on the moon. There was something called the Robot Wars. Don't really go into it, but it devastated the planet, and the last of humanity moved to the moon and certain planets within the solar system, right? Because you do get a little mention of that. And it's run by a really cheesy computer called Lomax, which is basically fucking useless, right? There's a cargo ship. Well, everybody needs to live on this stuff called Radic 2. It's like a radiation element that stops you from getting radiation poisoning. They don't really explain that because I thought if they lived on moon, they'd be protected by it. But anyway, they've got the big cities on moon in New Washington. And a cargo ship crashes into the dome, one of the dome cities. And anyway, the short effects is these three ships go up and they put a new cover on dome where it's done. And it comes out that Jack Palance, called Umus, is this megalomaniac fanatic who's got a job on a mining planet. He's took it over reprogram the robots into his army, and he's going to keep sending cargo ships unless they send him back to Earth and make him the supreme ruler, and he knows what's best for everybody else. That's it. So they go to the supercomputer Lomax, the council, with Barry Morse, who is John Cavell, and his idiot son, the hero type with the spiky hair. And they go up, and Lomax says, look, you know, we need to set up a better warning system. But he said, we built a warship called Starstreak. They said it's not ready because they were going to get rid of it, you know, because they didn't see any point in it. So supercomputer says, look, we can't go around doing that. So we go downstairs. The scientist woman, she's lovely. She's created a robot called Sparks that can teleport everywhere, and it's right cute. But it's not. It's terrible. It's got a dome on its head. I mean, the robots in this. I mean, let's just go back to the 1950s. The robots, they've got like big cheesy. Oh, they're just bad, right? The robots are bad, right? So it's got a cute voice and it can teleport. It's about 4 foot tall, right? So we get that. So they decide to steal the ship, right? To steal the ship and like go to this planet where Jack Palance is, Umus, right? And stop him. So anyway, like they get on ship and there's loads of problems with it. And they set off from Moon. Anyway, like a day later, this thing's meant to be capable of warp speed or whatever. They have engine problems and they land on the moon, on Earth, land on the moon. They land on Earth and they find a load of Village of the Damned type kids there who've got radiation poisoning, they've all got blonde hair. And I'm starting to think, oh God, is this tied into Village of the Damned? Not really. It's me going off on one. So they're running around on Earth doing loads of pointless things to find this guy that lives on Earth. And you see some at devastation, but you've got jeeps and tanks and all that. But this is meant to be bloody future. Anyway, I'm not going into that, right? Because honestly, I had to sit through this, right? So what I'm saying is, so they're on Earth running about and find me like radiation kids, and they say, look, we're going to come back and give you some radiation drugs to cure you. So they leave all kids on planet and they clear off to go to the other side of the galaxy, wherever his planet is, right? But it's all come out that Barry Morse, John Cavell, Barry Morse's character, he had when they launched the ship, he had to go into the power core and put in a nuclear rod, but he's been infected with radiation, but nobody knows. And then we forget about that. So they're flying along to the planet, and we jump to Jack Palance coming out of his megalomaniacal moment. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's just no point. I mean, honest, there's no anything with a villain in this. It's just pointless. Just wants to come back to the moon, rule it, boss everybody about, and that's it. With his robot army, you know, because he thinks he knows what's best. So anyway, they end up in a space storm. They jump to light speed. Then we get all the time that, you know, all the time dilation effect. You know what they're all like spinning around and all weird, cheesy, cheap, nasty camera shots and facial expressions. We go through that. They come out. The ship's slightly knackered. They see another cargo ship on its way to the moon, but they can't blow it up because they don't know if the bloody weapon system works. So they separate the ship, land it on the planet, and it all comes out that Jack Palance's character, Umus or whatever he's called, right? He has got rid of the humans. They're all outside fighting the robots, and he's up there, you know, just being insane as usual with his great destiny going on about his empire. What on this cheesy planet with some robots, and they turn up. And John Cavell, like Barry Morse, there's a big holographic thing of Jack Palance. He says, "I need to talk to you." So obviously, you know how the villains do with the big egos. They give the opposition, like the other opposite of him, the audience. And he's going, look, you know, you shouldn't be doing this, you know, and you know, you turn up on Moon Boss is all about, you know, the one thing people want is freedom. We don't want you, you know, we don't want this. But he's not having it. So then he decides that he's had enough of listening to him because he hasn't respected his genius. He puts this big cheesy helmet on and then he kills Barry Morse by disco effect. I'm not making it up. And Barry Morse, I've got to give him for his acting capabilities. Marvelous how he dies. He's screaming away, rolling around up floor because he's got this disco light on. And that's it. And just to cut it short, right? Sparks, the teleporting robot, gets taken over by Umas, but it's all a trick. Umas, the Sparks, the robot, reprograms the robot army. Now, there's a lot of flaws in this film. There's so many, it's that bad, right? So like all these robots turn on him, and son of Couldve gets his dad, and he said, "I'm going to blow up planet up to make a point." You know, but if you blow the planet up, you can't. There'll be no more radiation stuff to take back to the moon to save people. So you're not going to rule anybody. So that, I mean, I'm not making this up, right? So we're running around more, and he presses the destructo button because he wants to go back on Star Street because John Cabal built it to make a point of his arrival. You know, the grand entrance. But the robots get reprogrammed and get hold of Jack Palance, Umas' character, and he's screaming, "I created you," and all that. The planet's blowing up. And they escape, and they get all the cargo ships and head back to the moon. That's it. Right, I'm going to go now. I mean, this is shape of things to come to, right? Let's say if this is the sequel, you know, I'm a big fan of the original 1936 one. I think it is truly is a masterpiece of British science fiction, and people have written reviews on it and have done educational lessons on it. They teach it about universities like Metropolis, another masterpiece, and then they made this. So what is wrong with this film? It is right. We might as well get to it. Could this have been a classic? Fuck knows. Down the toilet, I'm telling you. Right, you've got you've got dudes in suits walking around with like 1950s robots. Right, I mean, they couldn't even be bothered to even do robots up making stupid noises. Right, let me get to my points. Right, I'm not making this up. I had to. Right. Barry Morse gives out, his character, there's the big science fiction monologue speech about humanity. He does that 3 times, right? Jack Palance, non-dimensional egomaniac baddie who's an apprentice of John Cabal. Cheesy robots, don't get me started on teleporting robot. Honestly, right? Sparks, the teleporting robot. That's it, you know, for like get everybody like, oh, look at that thing. It's shit, right? Barry Morse, cheesy monologues. I've just said that, but yeah. Now, Star Street, the ship looks quite cool. You could say it in Star Trek, actually. I mean, if it were designed a bit more, it is very 70s, but it does look good. I mean, I like the shape, I like the design of the ship, but it does nothing. Village of the damn kids on Earth. Don't even go there. They just leave them. They just get in the ship and leave them. So we'll be back in a couple of months. Slow motion dilation effect and death by disco ball. Right. I'm never ever watching this film again. Never. Right. It's the biggest bag of shite I've ever had to sit through. Honestly, and do you know, a certain friend of mine who I'm going to name now, Pete, I hope you're watching this. You asked me to review this. How could you, mate? How could you do this to me? So anyway, I took a request to do this. Now I'm going to admit something shameful. When I was a kid in the 70s, my dad took me to see this. He did. It was on with Zulu. No, it was a double bill. There was Zulu, I think it was Zulu Dawn, and this came on after. So I'd sort of remembered this film, but I've forgotten about it for decades. And when it was rediscovered, it was terrible. I mean, everything it didn't. I mean, the budget for this. Yeah, I mean, even Honeywell, the corporation's still going with the really bad computers. And of course, they've got the standard 70s computers with the reels on, you know, like the real computers, which we've no doubt seen in numerous other TV programs. I mean, it's just awful. And it's not even laser guns. You know, I would have appreciated. I mean, it would have been. I mean, somebody of Jack Palance's stature would have been great to have a bit more about why he's doing what he's doing, not just to come back and lord it over everybody. So could this film be the classic shit? No. You know, down the toilet. So this is just a quick one. Honestly, I'm just going to go bang my head on the wall after sitting through 1 hour and 38 minutes of this. Like I said, there's things out there you just avoid, and this is one of them. Awful film. No classic this week. This one did not get through. It sunk like the Titanic. So, guys, I will see you on the next video. Check this film out. It's that bad. It's not even enjoyable, but just give it a look. Watch the trailer. There's very few clips of it on YouTube. It was very hard to find this. It really was. And I'm not paying for it on Amazon. I'll tell you that now. So, guys, stay safe. We're nearly out of lockdown. And I will see you on the next episode of It Could Have Been a Classic.